James, it read. MILFs in your area want to meet you. One MILF is just 10 miles away.
The Grudge Woman story that we have.
Oh, you can't do it justice though. But I mean, you can explain it.
Who wants to explain it because we're all there and it's funny and scary.
I've suppressed the memory, so I'm not telling it.
You can look after the dog. I'm not doing it. And she's like, no, you're doing it. Alright. So,
a half-assed attempt to impress me into thinking, oh, golly, this must be legit. Woo! Welcome to Halloween Part 2. There we go.
Alright.
We're here.
yeah, that were really spooky.
That were really scary to do that. Right. What are we doing, everyone?
Halloween.
Part 2.
Halloween Part 2. We've got scary stories. We've got true paranormal experiences. Words.
Yes.
And we've got a little icebreaker to start us off. What's your favourite horror film? Go.
Go, you go.
Alright.
Any horror
Favourite,
film.
does it have to be like one that's scared me the most or just what I like?
Just either. You pick.
I really like the It films. You know, the ones that have just come out like over the last 5 years.
I like It 1. It 2
I like both of them.
I've seen it 4 times. And
I think I've only seen them both once.
But I think the ones that scared me the most is probably the first Conjuring movie.
Yeah.
That shit's scary.
Yeah, watching that with that giggly.
Fucking hell. That is scary, isn't it?
Choking on his minstrels next to me.
Man, when she shuts that cupboard in, there's that fucking thing on top. That's so
yeah,
scary.
that is disgusting.
That'll be on
Oh,
to
my
Peter later tonight.
The clapping as well, my god. That one.
Yeah.
Well, my favourite, and it's my scariest because, Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Alright.
Ah, yeah.
Because it's based on a true story, and obviously, the good thing about it is, it's like, it shows one side of it, and then it's like, yeah, but this is the other side of it.
I completely agree. I think it's really good because it's like the medical side versus religious.
Like the court case, it's like, well, we can't prove that there isn't demons, but we can't prove that she was mental.
In the end, don't they be like they're like, you're guilty, but we can't hold you. You're free to go. Type of thing.
It's like the first case that ever went to like.
Do you remember we watched it at Ian Ann's?
I can't remember.
I couldn't watch that, you know.
I think I've seen it twice. I think because I saw it before I watched it with you. I watched it with my dad, I think, and then obviously we watched it. But well, you saw
fucking
it.
Ella was like, I was proper into it, and she came and touched me while I went into the movie. It shit me up so bad, and she's there trying to push me out of my flipping like where I was sat, and so scary. But yeah, really, really good movie.
The real life pictures of the person it's based on. Obviously, you know, I can't fucking look at them.
I don't think I've seen them.
Oh, it makes me feel sick. Like the other week when you were on nights, and I'm there like in bed. And I need a piss, and my brain just shows me the image in my head, and I'm like, well, I can't go for a piss. I proper held this pissing till I were stomach aching, and then I had to go for a piss. But why is my brain?
And then he runs back into his room.
I proper legged it back in as well. I always do that. I don't know why.
Monster bastard.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Alright, what about you, Ben?
I don't know. Like, I know you're probably gonna not like it, but probably the Saw films. Just because I liked the whole... They're not scary, and they're not...
I mean, the first...
I mean, they're still classed as a horror. But, like, I like... And it does get a bit shit, like, as it goes on, but I remember watching them all for the first time, and I just thought it was really good. Especially when...
The first
Dr.
one is really good.
Lawrence comes back.
How many...
You don't think? I think that's quite a good little twist.
How many movies are there of Saw?
There's 7 main ones, then there's
like Spiral,
Jigsaw, Spiral.
I've seen like
I like the.
I've only seen one, and this was like maybe 2010 or something. I don't know. Like a long
Saw
time
1
ago.
is
I
definitely
can't-
worth watching because I think Saw 1 is really.
Yeah, that's
The
definitely
twist in that is so fucking.
As a film, that is the best one. But like, I like watching them all just for like the different
So what would
traps and shit like that.
So what would you say about your scariest one?
Well, it's just Conjuring, but that's a bit boring. It's pretty much everyone's.
Yeah.
And then probably that position of Emily Rose. And I think the taking of Deborah Logan's a good film as well.
Oh my god! I watched the trailer with you, and I said we said we were going to watch it, but we just didn't get around to watching it.
Well, it's about a dementia patient.
Yeah.
And like, she's forgetting, but like she's not. She's just
so scary. The
that
trailer, like 2 minutes long. I was like, I don't really want to watch this, but I'll do it.
Yeah, but it's a good film still. I still think it's a good film.
Hell, man.
Like the whole like plot and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, like Paranormal Activity for me, the first time I watched it was terrifying. But it was like Paranormal Activity gave birth to, like, if you watched horror films before you watched that, you've seen all the stuff that it did. Like, this was the first film that did all this shit.
Yeah,
well.
I get what you're saying. Like, I've seen them as well. I'm pretty sure I've seen them all, but I just didn't think they
Did
were
we not
scary.
watch them together?
Maybe.
I thought
I just
the
didn't
fact
think
that
they were scary.
you
like,
never saw the thing until, well, you never really
You
saw
don't really see it,
and
yeah.
it's like,
I don't watch
the
horror films
scariest,
on my own, so.
the scariest Paranormal Activity one is the one where, I think it's the third one, do you know, where she's running around the house and she opens the barn and there's like 100 people who turn around and start walking towards her. It's like
is that the one where it's that woman that's like, it's Toby the ghost is called, right? And like she tries to marry.
Yeah, she married. That's how the story is. She marries this demon to the daughter.
Yeah,
and then when they have the son for the first time,
oh, it goes backwards, isn't it, in time? Yeah.
I can't remember anything. I'm pretty sure I've seen 3 of them at least, but I cannot remember barely.
The first 3 are decent because they all fit in, and then the 4th one is just like it kind of relates, but it's like shit.
Yeah, a new film for you to watch, Rajan, Incantation.
Yeah,
you
need to watch that.
That's
probably the most scary recent film I've seen.
Yeah, that's one of the most scary films I've seen like recently.
Yeah,
like
it's
other than, like probably Conjuring and then that, like literally.
It's so unique in how it does
Incantation. Are we saying like?
It's like Japanese.
Yeah, it's not English.
Oh, okay.
You got to have the subs on.
But it's
not
dubbed.
There are a lot of Japanese horrors that are scary, like very, very scary and very, very good. But I've never really watched any. Have you seen that new one that's coming out on Halloween?
Pray for the Devil.
Yeah. Apparently it's about.
Go see that, I think.
Yeah, it's apparently about a woman that's the first person to do an exorcism, as in like the first female, something like that. It's set on that. So yeah, it's quite interesting.
Yeah, I mean we'll definitely watch that.
Yeah, and then we'll let people know what we think about it.
Yeah.
Right. So, do you want to go into your topics first, or do you want a spooky story?
I mean, I tried to do some research about sleep paralysis and all that sort of stuff, but it's more just like.
Well, we can just go into our paranormal experiences then. Let's start with your
sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna go first then. All right. So I'm looking after my nan's house. I'm looking after the dog, and my nan told me like a week or 2 before. She's like, "Oh, Anne always tucks me in bed, and I always see Anne, and Anne used to live in that house."
It's grim, isn't it?
So like she tells me that, and I'm like, "Nan, I don't want to be hearing that." And she's like, "It's alright, it's Anne and all that sort of stuff." But I'm like, I don't want to be hearing it. Like I don't like to hear about stuff like that. And I'm about to stay there on my own with dog. So yeah. Anyway, I go to sleep. I'm on my front. I have sleep paralysis. I'm trying to move, and I just feel something touching the back of my head and stroking the back of my head.
Oh my god!
No. So my heart's going mental. I'm proper warm. I'm sweating like mental, and I just give myself a countdown. I'm like, I need to get up because I would just sat there getting stroked the back of the head for about 10 seconds, and I'm like, I need to do something. I can't just sit here. And then I just got up. I don't know. I counted down, and then to myself, like I screamed when I was getting up.
Yeah.
But when I got up, Ella was still asleep, the dog. So I can't have done because if I did scream, she would have woke up. That's what I think it was.
That scares me. The fact that you feel like you scream. It's like.
Yeah. But like the thing is, it was as I was getting up. Like sometimes when you are in sleep paralysis, you feel like you can open your mouth and you try and scream, but you can't.
Right.
But like I was actually in the process of getting up. Like that's as I was turning because I was like on my phone.
What if we would stand being like,
I'd have been like,
That's the thing.
Good
go
boy.
away, please.
Like, I know it's stereotypical to
Scary.
say that if you're in a certain place that you know might be haunted, that you feel uneasy. But that house, the first time I went in there, I was just like, I couldn't be in here on my own.
Yeah, and that was the one and only time that I've had sleep paralysis, and it was in there as well.
do you know, like your nan's house, right? For example, to me, the only part that I find a little bit scary is just the corridor part because it's like it's just a wall in there, and it's like, what if something just walks out of the bedroom?
The amount of times
that's other than that, I think it's I don't really mind.
The amount of times where like I'd just be sleeping and I'd look up. Well, I'd be sleeping facing it, and I'd look up, and I'd just be like, "What if I see something poking round?"
Yeah, but that can be in like a lot of places.
No, but that house was. I
think you find that house scary because it's decorated by an old woman. Like my nan decorated the house. Like she had all this shit everywhere. It's just like typical old people stuff, and like on the walls as well. Like I didn't like this. There was like little masks on the wall.
Oh, the masks.
There were 4 like porcelain masks on the wall, and they weren't nice. But anyway, the day after that happened, I'm messaging my mum and all this sort of stuff, and I'm like, I'm not staying here anymore. You can look after the dog. I'm not doing it. And she's like, no, you're doing it. So I'm like, all right. So I go back. I was debating sleeping in the car. Literally, and my car is a fucking small car.
Yeah, but let's just go to something that we always forget. That neighbour across the road.
Oh my god, that is
the
so
story you
scary.
told us about her. Like
she got dementia,
proper, I don't know what dementia, but she was like.
She comes over and knocks on your door and stuff.
Yeah. Like if you were sleeping in a car and you seen her come out,
I didn't think about that.
I just couldn't.
Imagine she's trying to sleep and she just comes to your car and she's like,
you just wake up at the middle of the night and she's just staring at you.
Like she'd come by and she'd be like, she'd have a conversation with me, and she'd be like, she'd have a conversation with me like every single day. She'd come by and she'd be like, oh, where's Alice and Barry? And like, this is like the 3rd time you're telling her that they've gone away, but obviously she's got dementia, so she doesn't know. And then she'd go, I'd see her walk. I'll start walking back to her house, and then I'd see her turn around sometimes, and she'd come back again, and she'd knock on the door again, and I'm just like, you alright? And she'd just be like, yeah, are they in? And I'm like, no. But obviously, she just don't know, does she? So, but yeah, anyway, as I was saying, so I come back to the house after the previous night, and I've talked to the house.
Talked?
Yeah, I'm literally like, I come in, and I'm just like, I just want to look after the house, and I just want to go home. Like, I've only got like 3 days left or whatever. Just leave me alone, literally. Like, so I was fucking shitting myself, and I messaged Devon. I'm like, come stay, and she's like, no. And then it's like 11 o'clock, and I keep asking her, and I'm like, can you please come stay? And she's like, I'm literally about to go to sleep, and I'm like, I'll come and get you, and we can just go to sleep because I wouldn't have slept. But yeah, so she comes over, we go to sleep. But she doesn't stay again the next day, and then on the next night, I had sleep paralysis again, but I got up instantly. Yeah,
Jeez, man.
It happened. So
I didn't know that.
Same thing.
I didn't think you had it again.
Yeah, I had it again, but I literally were like, get the fuck up, and I just I just got up dinner, but like, I'm not having this happen again, and I just did the same thing. Well, I just give a countdown, and just got up, but there were no like, I didn't see I didn't feel
Do you think the second time was just because?
Probably just because I was fucking shitting myself.
Yeah, thinking about it as well that it's going to happen, and you just feel like it's going to.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Like if you put in an uneasy situation, it can do that to you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's scary.
I had it.
I couldn't do it without me.
I've had it once, but this is weird because it was like last week, and.
Well, you won't tell me this?
No, because I don't know what happened, because it were only a couple of days ago where I was thinking, it popped into my head, like, oh, I had sleep paralysis last week, but I didn't. But I think I dreamt that I did. And that was, like, I'm thinking about it now, and I have the memory of me having it recently, but I don't think I did. So I don't know what that's all about. But when I did have sleep paralysis, the worst. Oh God! So I'm there sleeping
On your back.
on my back,
Yeah, I see. I were on my front, so I don't see the rest of my room.
and luckily, like I couldn't see down. I could only see the ceiling.
Okay.
And I'm there sleeping. I'm sleeping, and it just feels like someone's pushing down on my chest, like with both hands, as if someone's like climbing on top of me. And I instantly I'm like fuck, but I'm frozen. Like my hands and my feet cannot move, but I'm trying to kick the wall, like separating me and my parents' room, to like alert them, because I'm like something bad's happening here, and I could not do it. And then I just remember it felt like about 30 seconds, but it must have been like 5, 7 at most. Yeah. And I shot up, and I was just dripping in sweat, and I was like proper
you went back
panicking.
to sleep as well.
Yeah, and I think I was that scared that I just was drained, and I just went back to sleep, and I woke up the next day, and I was just like,
for me, it happened. I think it happened at like 3, 4 in the morning. I can't remember, but I had work at 8 in the morning. Now that I just stayed up.
It's weird because I checked my phone after this, and I think it were 2:45. Not bang on quarter, but it was somewhere between like 2:30 and 3:15. And I'm just like, let's say 3 o'clock. Obviously it wasn't 3 o'clock on the dot, but that's apparently the devil's hour.
Didn't you used to like wake up with scratches and shit?
Yeah, and I haven't had it ever since. But actually, no, it were.
Yeah, you had one of it.
Yeah, the other week I had one on my back, like big long one.
Do you think it's just yourself scratching though?
It must be.
In your sleep.
I know that my neck I do scratch a lot, but I don't know. I mean, it's always I don't know for sure it's me. So if I found out that it was something else, I'd be fucking.
Would you ever put a camera in your room?
No, fuck that. I'd rather just not know. Yeah. Like a man.
You'd never be able to say. I would never be able to sleep on my own ever again if I seen something happen ever. I'd literally have to be in a room with someone all the time.
I see a lot of people on YouTube use these EMF things, or is it an EMF? It's the thing that like it like detects like sound, but like stuff that we can't hear, and obviously you can hear
like high frequency stuff.
Yeah, so like if there's a voice, you can hear it, but like your ears can't hear it. Yeah. And they usually wear it on a watch, so like when they're doing investigations, they can be like, right, we'll check this, see what's happened. And it's like, if I had one of them in my room, I just won't ever want to listen to it, because I've heard some stuff on these and it does sound weird, but like it could be. I don't know how they work. I'm not a scientist, but I just wouldn't do it. If you were like, oh, I've got this device, putting it in your room, are you gonna be bothered? I'm gonna be like, yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't want, because if you hear something, that's it. Your life is fucked, because you don't know what that thing is, and it's good. It could just be with you forever.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, scary. Like my only experience that I've had, that I suffered with something like this for about 6 months. I've never told anybody, but basically, I don't know what it was and the reason behind it, but like I mentioned in one of our previous ones, that my auntie's into all this this stuff in India. But basically, I used to wake up, and I'd feel like my bed's shaking, and I feel like there's something grabbing my legs slowly, and like I'm getting pressed down, and I remember just like I'd be asleep, and I sleep on my front a lot, so I'd be asleep, and I'd wake up, and I'm just, it's like my bed's shaking, but I don't think it was my bed, it was me. Like my body just like doing like shaking like this, literally. Like, and I don't know what it was, but I suffered from it for about 6 months, and I spoke to my auntie about it because, like I said, she's into all this, and she'll look into it and stuff like that, and she got me to like do a load of stuff like over 40 days, like not eat so and so and not consume alcohol and stuff like that, and it worked for a little bit, for like maybe a month, and then it started happening again when I started eating them things again, and it was only until January 2021 when I went to India and actually met her. She took me to this place. I don't know, they had like this like bag with a load of stuff in, and she literally just on my head literally went like this like 10 times, and she went and put it in some water down like the river stream. Next day when I slept, oh my god, I woke up like I had like a load of weight had just lifted off of me, and I've never had it since.
So were it like a sleep paralysis when it happened?
I don't know.
Like when your bed was shaking, could you move?
I could move, and then it'd stop. That's what I mean. I don't think it was my bed. I think it was just me. But it felt like this was happening to my bed. It's so weird, man. And I'd be all hot and sweaty when I woke up.
What's her like? Because surely if she's into this, she must have like some kind of thought on what it could have been.
I don't know. She says to me it could. She didn't really clarify what it could be, but she said there's a possibility that something had been given to you while eating wise or drinking wise, and them things are causing that to you. Like
what were you
there's just nothing that you could be like, yeah, that's definitely that, because you just don't know. It could be nothing. Maybe what she's saying, it might not even be anything to that. But the thing is that when she did what she did when I was in India, and I've been completely fine since, and I'm just like, well, clearly there must have been something wrong with me, and I'm fine. Or it's just me being like, all right, I'm all right now, and then it doesn't happen.
That's what I always put it down to.
But it's just like, surely not. But yeah, ever since, it's been, a year and a half, 2 years now, and I'm never had it again.
Yeah.
So that's literally the closest thing that I could think of to having like a paranormal experience, I suppose.
It's like with me when my nan's like, oh, Anne and all this sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It puts you in that sort of frame of mind.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, like if they're, this is how I see it. If they're like, oh, don't eat this and don't do this, and you don't, and you're like, oh yeah, it's getting better, and then you start eating it again, and it starts getting worse.
Yeah.
To me, that's like your mind is like, you've eaten this again,
and
you know what's going to happen, and you're like, alright, shit. Then, I don't know, maybe...
But there's one thing, though, since that experience has happened to me, I can't sleep without my TV being on. I need something in the background to distract me. Now, maybe that's why that's not happening to me, but I've never tried it because...
What, all night?
No, my console switches off after like an hour. So like, I'll be asleep by the time, and my TV turns off as well, because when the console's off, that turns off.
Yeah, mine does.
So I'll just put something on Netflix, and it'll be like 3 or 4 volume where I can hear it, and I'll just sleep, and I'm alright. Like,
yeah, I have to do that.
But now, like, me doing that, I'm afraid to turn it off and do it. So literally for the last 2 years, my TV's always been on when I'm trying to sleep. So, but yeah, I don't know. But that's my experience.
Well, I have another story. Well, another 2 stories. One I have no explanation for at all, and that's one of the weirdest things I've ever experienced. But yeah, I'll start with the first one.
Do you want me to say about like the sleep paralysis stuff? Like if we're finishing off on that, though.
Yeah, sure.
It's just that I think I've heard this from the Jack mate that I can't remember his name, like neurologist, is it? Like the brain guy?
Yeah.
He said like, well, how sleep paralysis works is it's something to do with like REM sleep. So like it's like in between going to sleep or like entering REM sleep or coming out of it when it's like ready to get up, sort of thing. It's something like that, and it can be caused through like jet lag and work and just like being proper stressed about certain stuff, but your brain is asleep. Your brain's waking up, but your muscles are still asleep, and that's what's happening. And when you're asleep, your body paralyzes itself, so you don't injure yourself. If you think like you're running in your dreams, and if you was actually doing that, you might like knee the wall loads of times and like hurt your knee or some shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, so like your body paralyzes yourself, and the whole stuff about like seeing stuff. If you wake up and you're paralyzed and you can't move and you feel like something's pressing on you, you deem it to be like, I don't know, you start panicking and you start like seeing stuff. Like and like in different countries and all that sort of stuff, like they'll see different things based on what's scary to them. So like over here, like we might see like girls with fucking black hair and all this sort of shit. You know what I mean? Because we deem that scary, like demons and stuff like that. Like in, I don't know, like in India or something like that, they might see like a witch because they deem witches scary and all this. I don't know, like there's experiments where they ask people like what they see, and it depends like where it is in the world, they see different things.
Do you know, like, I don't know how much this relates to it, but you guys have heard of like, what is it, astral projection or something, where you feel like you've come out of your body.
Yeah.
Like, has that ever happened to you two?
I've had a dream
where
I've been looking down at myself, but I haven't felt like I've been moving. Like I just remember dreaming a bird's eye view of myself, and it was like a very quick thing. Like it was like a snap second.
I've never done that.
Like I don't know, but I was just thinking like that would be so cool, but also scary. But I'm assuming that's something to do with like you were saying, neurologically, I'm guessing there's some connections there with that as well.
Have you ever had lucid dreams before?
I have them all.
Is that where you can control what happens? I think I've had them when I was younger. I used to have them, and I'd be like, and then the next night I'd sleep. I'd be like, right, I want to carry on, and I'd sleep. I'd sleep, and I would definitely carry on that dream as well.
Like, every night is like I fall asleep thinking about something to dream about, and I'll dream.
Yeah,
so I do it all the time. As I'm laid there, I'll be like say I don't know, I'll be like, I'm playing football for England or something. I'll be dreaming like halfway through the season because I'll have dreamt the season.
Oh, okay.
And I'll just be like, well, I'm at this point now, and I'll just dream that next game or next 2 games. It's become. I don't know if it's like rare to be able to do it like that often.
No, like I do it all. Like I don't. You'll have heard my alarms. I snooze my alarms so many times when I'm getting up for work. I'll be dreaming. My alarm will go off. I'll snooze it, and I'll be like, right, I'm gonna go back to that dream now.
Yeah.
And I'll go back and keep going, and then I'll snooze my next alarm, and I'll just keep going on with the same dream. But the thing is, sometimes when I am lucid dreaming, like if I start thinking too much, like obviously you're in a dream, I'll end up waking myself up because I'm like thinking too much. My brain activity is probably going mental.
Jeez, man, that's scary. Like, just imagine like you've come out of your body somehow and you just can't enter. Like, imagine that happens.
But
to you.
it's just dream, isn't it?
Yeah, but what if?
So if I'm lucid dreaming, I could just be like, alright, I'm going to have a astral projection, and I'm just going to come out and look at myself.
Try it then. Because if you can do it, why don't you try it tonight? Attempt it. And
but it's different, isn't it? Like, they say that astral projection is you actually leave. It's not your dreaming. Like,
it's you leaving your body.
It's like you leaving your body. It's like your, I don't know, spirit, I guess, or your subconscious or whatever it is leaving your body. Like in Insidious, that's the whole thing where. She's where the dad like goes in and he has to go find his kid. Yeah. He has to bring his kid back to his body because his kid can't find his body back. Okay. But then they obviously have these other spirits that are like, we want that body.
Yeah, trying to get through.
That's why I like Insidious so much. I think it's
really good for that reason as well, because it carries on and it goes backwards.
Yeah, and then the second one, it's like the dad was possessed all along. Yeah. It's like it wasn't him. Like the dad, when he came back, the dad's spirit was still in the spirit.
Imagine having the gift to be able to do that projection stuff though. That you could just do it whenever. Yeah, but I bet there are some people out there that can do it.
But the cons of that, like imagine having to not be too far from your body because there's other things out there that's like we want that body.
Surely you'd be able to protect it. Like, don't they say something like is it sage? Yeah, sage in it. I thought it was lavender for some reason. Like, if you do that, like there are certain things that are meant to repel stuff like that. But I just think like if you could do that, you could just literally just go anywhere.
Yeah, but it's like you can do all that for like Ouija boards and stuff. But are you ever really safe?
True.
Like,
no, true. I won't be doing a Ouija board.
No. Even if you said we're
just the off chance.
We've got a spiritual person and we're going to do it by the book. I still won't do it. I mean, I'd like to do one just to see, but I don't think I ever would.
I won't be doing it. I can't do no Ouija.
One of my colleagues, where I used to work, right, they were telling me that I think I've told you two about it, that she had a really, really close friend and he could see things like shadows and stuff like that. And like he saw at one point that there was this dark shadow on someone and it started hissing at him. I don't know, obviously it's what I've been told, but I don't know how true. But anyway, they were doing like a Ouija board, but she was like on FaceTime, and as he was doing it, he said that he's going to send something to her house, and obviously she was like, what are you sending? But she trusted him because, you know, close friends and whatnot. And her cat started like looking up in towards the ceiling and just kind of going like that, is what she told me. Like the cat was seeing stuff, but the cat was getting like happy and giddy and, you know what I mean, not like scared and stuff like that. But I mean, I guess people do have gifts, but could you really ever prove it? I don't really know, but yeah, it's quite interesting.
I think dogs and shit. I think they and cats, they see stuff that we can't see.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, the amount of times my cat will literally just be staring, and it's like you'll like push her. Like with a cat, you can push them and they'll like move, but when they're staring, you push them, they just go like as if they're resisting. And it's like
that happened. I was gonna say it later, but I'll just say it now. But that happened with Ella one time at my nan's house, our old house even, like where I was just watching like YouTube or whatever, and I just she was just laid there, and I look over at her, and she just stood up, just staring over into corner room, and I'm like, I shout at her, and usually if you say her name, she'll just turn around or whatever, but she won't do it, and I give her a little push, and she's just like proper, just sturdy as fuck, and I actually have to grab her head and like pull it round, and I pull it round, and she looks at me, and then I let go, and she looks back, and then she's like, it's like she was in like a trance or something, like she just wasn't like responsive, like from like me saying stuff, and I'm like just like giving her a little shove, like, cause she was fucking scaring me, like
that is scary though, isn't it? It's scary thinking stuff like that, but yeah.
So I'll go to my. Which one do you want first? Headset story or doll down the stairs story?
Whichever.
Let's
headset
have
one.
Headset one.
Oh god! Right. So I'll set the scene. Playing games. No one's in the house. I'm on the headset with a friend. I'm like, I'm gonna go to a shop. It's literally 5 minutes round the corner, and I'm like, I'll be back in a sec. So I'll leave my headset on, and I come back, and I'm like, right, I'm back. No answer, and I'm like, hello, and then it unmutes, and he's like, have you been in house? How long you been back? And I'm like, I've just come back now, and they're like, what the fuck with all that like growling and moaning and shit? And I'm like,
no,
what are you on about? I'm like, are you taking piss? He's like, nah, it's that bad. I had to mute the mic because it was scaring me. And I'm like, all right. And he's like, is there anyone in the house? I'm like, no, it's literally just me. Like, the cat's not in. I've literally left my mic for like 5 minutes on its own, and he's been that scared of what he can hear that he's had to mute me.
Oh my god,
And
that would scare me so much.
I'm just sat there like, I don't want to be in this house anymore. Like,
so why were you still there? But like, I know that you can't really go anywhere.
David, do you know if like now on the PS5, for example, you can play back like
I'd definitely save it.
Would you have done it?
I swear you said you wouldn't have saved it. I swear we talked about this, and I was like, would you have saved the gameplay and listened to it back? And you were like, no. I swear you.
I don't know. Like, I'm saying I would now, but in the moment, I don't think I would.
You'd have to surely.
I'd probably save it and I'd send it to one of you two.
I have a feeling, right? If that was something, you'd save it, but you wouldn't hear it. I reckon so. But I reckon there'd be not there.
If I saved it and sent it to you, would you listen to it?
Yeah.
If it were the other way around and you sent me something like, I've heard this, I wouldn't be listening to it.
No, I would. And then I'd be like,
what if I sent you? If you were this guy and you were like, well, how long have you been back for? And I'm like, I've only just got back. And I saved my gameplay. Would you not like listen to that back?
And plus, right, if it
were Rajan and we both told you the story, would you be like, all right?
I don't think I'd want to. I'd want to, but I don't think I could.
Trust, I reckon there'd just be nothing there. It's just one of them things.
You need to listen to it back. I think. I know that it's contradicting to what we said earlier with the whole camera in your room.
Yeah.
But like.
But you listen to it and say you do hear these like growls like in the distance. Like, what the fuck do you do? Because growls is meant to be the sign of something bad.
Yeah.
And
well, you won't get scratched up every other day.
Maybe it's a kinky demon.
I wouldn't even be staying in that house like after that. And I know the next story you're gonna say as well. You've told me
this is one right. This story,
I'd be gone straight up.
Like with that, like I mean, the guy he was one of those where if he would playing a prank on me, he would eventually tell me because he wouldn't be able to keep it to himself. And it's been 4 years since then, and no confirmation. So, I mean, there's always a chance that maybe he was just taking piss, but from the reaction I was getting, I don't know. No. But this next one, there is no explanation for this at all. So, you know my stairs in my parents' house, they go up and then to the right, and then that's my sister's room. And then you walk a bit further into the room, and on the bed there was a baby doll, like one of them toy baby things. And we're all downstairs watching film or whatever it is we're doing, and we just hear boomf, 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 and we're all like, "What the fuck's that?" Thinking maybe the cat's like jumping downstairs or something. The cat went upstairs because it wasn't allowed upstairs. Like, it just wasn't supposed to be upstairs on its own. So we look. I don't look, but I think my dad went, and he was like, he just comes in holding this doll baby. He's like, "That's just come downstairs."
Oh my god.
And it was left on the bed.
But like, do we know that it was left there for sure? Like 100%.
Well, yes.
And what about the footsteps? The big boom, boom, boom. Like,
Well, no, I think that was.
I think that was the doll coming down the
down,
stairs.
like hitting a couple.
Oh,
of
Like,
okay.
as in it getting dropped.
Oh, okay.
So it
fair
mustn't
enough.
have been thrown.
Yeah,
It must have been dropped.
dropped like.
But
Okay, I get you.
like,
But man, I just was there no one upstairs then? I know.
literally, we were all watching a film.
Man, why were you still living there? Just why?
I don't know, because it's like one of those things where like I have no explanation for it, but
Oh
I
my God.
can't 100% guarantee what it is. But that is probably
Just
the
thinking of
freakiest
that
thing.
makes me like want to be sick. Honestly, that's just creepy as hell. Oh,
This
I
is
mean,
only like
deal
a small
with it.
thing, and I was saying it to you the other day, but the frosted glass in his room.
Oh, the window.
Yeah.
Yeah, the little window, like
I don't know what
on the
that's there
floor,
for, but
like looking onto the staircase. Like, what is
Oh,
that
man.
about?
Do you know,
Like,
like-
I can just imagine seeing like an outline of
yeah, well,
fucking someone stood there.
that's why I used to put a poster over it.
Yeah.
Disgusting, man.
But
Like, that is horrible. Like,
all the houses there, like if you see the next door neighbours, you can see through the window when the curtains are up, and they have one as well. So I'm guessing it must have just been
Just the houses.
the style back then. But
disgusting, though, isn't it?
I don't know
Which-
why.
Which idiots come up with that?
I know.
But-
Like, for what reason?
Yeah. Them two stories are probably the worst, and the
Yeah.
two that I don't really have explanations for.
Fucking
And
hell.
if there was any evidence I could provide to being like, yeah, I kind of believe in it,
Yeah.
them two would be my best cases. But I don't know. I don't even like
Oh,
thinking about them.
It's just, yeah, it's just creepy. Like,
I don't like it.
Any more paranormal experiences?
Nah.
I would just
It's
I would
not-
say that one way
that's it.
earlier, and then my sleep paralysis. That's
Actually,
literally the only.
I've
thing
got one, but same again. Same person told me from work. She was saying that I can't remember what it was, but her boyfriend was taking shopping into a house or something, and she was still in the car, and he's come out, and he's like, "Your nan's in there or something." He said, "I can't quite remember the full like all the details," but she's like, "What?" But and he's like, "Yeah, but nan's not alive," and then like apparently she asked her dad. And she's like, yes, she does sometimes come. Like she'll knock and stuff like that, and I'll know it's her because I'll reach out and be like, "Mum, is that you?" And they'll knock as well. And apparently, like he's gone in, put the like it's like this kind of so the kitchen's like further on, but you go past the living room like first, and he's gone into the kitchen, put the stuff down, and he's come out, and she's just like, "Hey, how are you doing?" And, like just greeting him, and he's just looked and he's like, he's walked out, and he's told her. And then obviously like they were scared and stuff, and she's gone and called her dad and whatnot, and he's like, yeah, she does come sometimes. Like that's so creepy, man.
Do you know what that reminds me of? Do you remember Chantel Potter?
Yeah.
Oh man, oh yeah, I know what you're gonna tell. Say it,
It were you that told me the stories
Yeah,
about it.
yeah, I
The
know,
one that
that's-
you were on about, she'd just be brushing her hair on. bed or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. So basically, right.
Fuck
Because
that.
I don't think it was her. I think it was just a place she was living, but she were a bit creepy. I think. But anyway,
Shout out.
she'd like wake up and she says that she'd just see a young girl combing her hair on her dresser.
That is disgusting.
Like so, like I don't know which way her bed would be, like which position and whatnot. But she'd wake up and she'd just see someone sat there combing their hair, like looking towards the dresser, and then she'd look away and then look back and there'd be nothing there. That's what she's told me. I don't know how much of it's true, but she was a bit of a weird character, I have to admit. But man, I'd be gone. And if that were to happen in a new place, then clearly there's something wrong with me. That's what I would think. I'd be like, something's following me, because that would freak me out just too much. It's too scary.
I don't like that. I don't like it at all.
Yeah, but I think that's all I've basically got for things like this. So my own experience, and two that I've actually been told of that could be or could not be true. You never know. To be fair.
Yeah, my tattooist, he lives in like an old courthouse.
Okay.
Like in Bradford, and he tells me that he sees stuff like all the time. Like there's like an old like barn like out back, and there's like this metal rod that goes across it, and that they used to hang people.
Oh Jesus, man.
Like, and you can see all like the rope burns or whatever you want to call it on the barn, and like it's all like renovated and that obviously, but like he says that he sees stuff and like stuff will move like all the time.
Oh my god, why?
And I'm just
Why
like, why
would
do you
you-
live there?
yeah.
He's just like, I'm not bothered. He's
Okay.
just like, you don't bother him. He's
Fair enough. I guess some people are just like, it's what it is, isn't it? Like you can't do about it. But if it's me, I'd be like, nah, I'm not staying here.
They told me a story where they had like some guy coming to like fit some internet or whatever, like BT guy, and he was talking. He thought he was talking to Sam, who's his partner,
Okay.
and she was upstairs, and then she comes down and he's just like talking to like no one, and then she's like, "You're right," and then he thought that she were in the next room. And she comes like from like the opposite direction.
Oh my god!
And then,
so the BT guy is basically speaking to her.
He thinks he's talking to her, but he's not apparently. And then apparently he just went proper white, and he just proper hurried the job and like got out of there.
Oh my god!
Imagine that.
This is why, like, it's so easy to discredit this stuff. But it's like if that is a true story that actually happened, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Like,
that's the thing. There's nothing there to debunk it and be like, yeah, well, it didn't. Like, okay, but what evidence have you got that it did? And what evidence is there that you didn't? It's just somebody telling you that this has happened. Like, fucking hell, man, it's scary.
It's like me and Damon this year. What we were supposed to be going to an old manor. What were it called? Like a, I can't remember. But we were going to like an old manor, but I can't remember the name of it. But well, we didn't end up going. But there's like, I don't know, there's like 40 odd rooms and all this sort of stuff, and there's like a nursery. And it's all proper creaky and like old. And we proper wanted to go. So we were gonna go do 3 peaks, but it's falling through. Hopefully next year.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I just want to go to that place.
I mean, like
experience.
It's owned by. I don't know who it's owned by, but my mum got permission, but then something happened where we couldn't go.
Oh, okay.
But I really want to go to that. Like, I want to do the 3 peaks, but I want to go there more than I want to do.
I couldn't go to that nursery though.
You would have to, surely. Like,
I'd have to go have a look, but
you are.
I'd have to go have a look, but I don't think I could stand in there for very long. But part of me would want to like
rocking horses and that.
Just like get sleeping bags out in there.
No.
If it were me and you, I'd do it.
No,
well, I don't know if I'd do it, but I'd try it. I'd like get the sleeping bag in there, and I'd get in the sleeping bag.
You're gonna get such a shit night's rest. That's all I'm thinking. Like
after last time we climbed a mountain, that were a great night rest, wasn't it? Woke up still hungover, like still a bit pissed, and then go climb biggest mountain in the world.
That's not in the biggest mountain.
Yeah, but what about the Grudge Woman story that we have?
Oh my god. You can't do it justice though, but I mean, you can explain it.
Who wants to explain it? Because we were all there and it's funny and scary.
I've suppressed the memory, so I'm not telling it. But it's fucking funny.
I mean, I'll tell you, I guess.
Go on,
so, like, I were in my old house and I got Rajan on my right, I got Damon on my left, and there's like the living room the dining room in like the other end behind Rajan. So I'm looking at Damon and I'm pretending to be the Grudge Woman coming around the corner. And so I keep doing it and I'm like, what do you do if door opens now and fucking Grudge Woman walks in and all that sort of stuff. So it's a spooky setting and we're all scared about everything. And then there's an automated light that goes off at a certain time or comes on at a certain time. It went off at a certain time. But you guys didn't know about it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Damon and he's looking at me and behind me is the light. So the light goes off. He fucking shits himself. Like from the reaction I got, I thought he'd seen fucking the devil himself. So, we've all got our food on his lap. The food goes all over the floor. And we all go and huddle in the corner of the room. Literally just all cuddling because we're scared to go through the door in case something's there. And to me, there's something there because of your reaction. And then I think to myself, I heard the click, the light's gone off, and I turned around and the light had gone off, and I was like, oh my god, the light's gone off, and that's it.
I just remember him going, oh, and like going around like the sofa, like I don't even know.
From my
And I'm
perspective,
just like, what? And I just jump in behind you guys, and I was like,
my
what's going on?
perspective, you were cuddling in bed.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like
you-
you were cuddling me and I was cuddling him. And then he got up. And then
I literally screamed. I looked down at the plate with a half-eaten burger and loads of chips, and I fucking launched it because I was like, I've got to run. So I'm like, fuck this food. There's chips all over the place, and I'm just like, fuck it all. So I get to the door, and I'm like, we've got to get out. And then I'm like, well, what if there's someone on the other side? So I kind of just cower in fear, and then you come piling into me, and I'm like, and then all I hear is, it's the light, it's the fucking light, you idiot. And I'm just like, how the fuck do I know that?
It's got to
the timing, but it's the timing of it as well. Though I think it was 11. Is that the time it turned off? Because I'm pretty sure you said that it turns off at 11 p.m. And it's like we were talking about, like you said to them, you're like, what would you do if Good One came around the corner now? And it just turned off.
Yeah.
That's why the timing was perfect. Like you could not make it any more perfect than it was.
To me, the fact that it clicked made it sound like the light switch had been physically done. If it had just gone off, I'd have still shit myself. But it was the click that made me think there's definitely
something that's pressed it, and yeah. So it's just, I don't know, so scary. But I think if somehow there was a recording of that would just be magical.
I'd do a camera in that room.
It would, it'd be so good just to watch it back. But
I'd love that if I could watch like any moment in my life back. That'd be a top 3. Easy.
I'd give my left bollock for one more look at that.
That were just for one look, not even for the footage, just like to rewatch it one time.
Yeah. Like an instant replay on FIFA where I can go different angles and just be like, right, I'm gonna look at this from every angle.
What a time!
Right. So funny. Right. Are we
On to
doing
the
stories or are we having a break or something?
yeah, we'll have a break.
Yeah, time of the week.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Back soon.
Ciao for now.
Bye. Right, and we're back. So, go on, Damon.
Right. 2 scary stories. Or supposed to be. What do you want first? I'll give you the names. You've got the keyhole.
Okay.
Or you've got MILF.
Do we want to save that one for last?
We'll save that one for last.
Right, we'll
Let
do
me-
the keyhole.
Let me get the keyhole up. This is the one that actually is kind of scary. And I read it years ago. And all that, I've got to find it. So let me find it for you. The keyhole creepypasta. Right. So, let's set the scene. I don't know why I said that, because I'm going to read it. So, a man went to a hotel and walked up to the front desk to check in. The woman at the desk gave him his key and told him that on the way to his room, there was a door with no number that was locked and no one was allowed in there. Especially, no one should look inside the room under any circumstances. So he followed the instructions of the woman at the front desk, going straight to his room and going to bed. The next night, his curiosity would not leave him alone about the room, with no number on it. So he walked down the hall to the door and tried the handle. Sure enough, it was locked. He bent down and looked through the wide keyhole. Cold air passed through it, chilling his eye. What he saw was a hotel bedroom, similar to his, and in the corner was a woman whose skin was completely white. She was leaning her head against the wall, facing away from the door. He stared in confusion for a while. He almost knocked on the door out of curiosity, but decided not to. This disinclination saved his life. That's a big word. I don't know
I'm more impressed with that.
No, what's the word? Stutters or mispronouncing my S's.
Yeah, very good.
Right. He crept away from the door and walked back to his room. The next day he returned to the door and looked through the wide keyhole. This time all he saw was redness. He couldn't make anything out besides a distinct red colour. Perhaps the inhabitants of the room knew he was spying the night before and had blocked the keyhole with something red. At this point he decided to ask the woman at the front desk for more information. She sighed and said, "Did you look through the keyhole?" The man told her that he had, and she said, "Well, I might as well tell you the story. A long time ago, a man murdered his wife in that room, and her ghost haunts it. But these people were not ordinary. They were white all over, except for their eyes, which were red."
Jeez. That's
So-
scary.
That's a spooky.
So she were like looking.
Yeah, so
Through
he's
the
looking
keyhole.
through and
Oh my god, that is creepy as hell.
that is disgusting.
You know what that could trigger? Chromophobia.
Oh,
The fear of a particular colour.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Scary red.
Well done, Benjamin.
That I remember reading that
Oh my.
years ago, and I was just like, "That's disgusting."
Oh.
Imagine looking through a keyhole and
You just see red, and then like.
Well, no, just like you see someone just stood like. Just propped
Like
up
it's
against the
scary.
wall,
The first
man,
time it
like,
looks
it's
in,
not even-
scary
oh.
enough, but then to be
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I can't see, it's just red," but then find out like she's staring, looking at you.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck that.
And is that it? What?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's
Just,
it. It's the
that
story.
were nice. That
was good. That yeah.
Short and sweet little spooker.
This
Yeah.
next one's long, and I don't know if I'm going to get through it without laughing, but it is kind of scary in a little weird way. But it does say MILF a lot, so.
All right.
Right, okay.
Let's have some accents.
Oh my god. Oh my god, there is some time. There is
Yeah.
some bits where I can do accents.
Let's
Right.
do it.
Let's not.
Get that cut out. Right. I'm not going to come in Jamaican, am I? Like, yo man.
Go
Right,
on.
I'm giddy now.
I know.
Right. Another night alone, sitting in front of the computer with a mouse in one hand and a vodka on the rocks in the other. Trying to kill time before complete exhaustion overtakes me, hopefully before the sunrise. I aimlessly click back and forth, page after page of news. Stupid people doing stupid things in stupid videos. Social media sites to catch up with friends and family. Playing free, unskilled games in hopes of draining your wallet that I had no intention of ever purchasing. And the occasional bit of fantasy self-fulfillment porn. Of course. The most amusing thing that I find from all of this cyber wandering is the constant the constant bombardment of cheesy ads, supposedly directed at me personally, with my hometown shoehorned in the text that has been gathered from my IP address. A half-assed attempt to impress me into thinking, "Oh golly, this must be legit!" Let me just click on this and download what couldn't possibly be a Trojan virus. Idiots. I'm not new to the ways of the internet. I'm a goddamn pro at wasting as much of my adult time as possible with my little two-buttoned friend. Later on into the night and into my fifth beverage, I noticed one of these banner ads blinking with neon red letters at the top of a news site. I only noticed it because it had my name flashing as the first word. "James!" it read. "MILFs in your area want to meet you." One MILF is just 10 miles away. I laughed heartily to myself, nearly spitting out some of my precious vodka. Who still uses that term these days? MILF? Just another example of how the advertisement industry is way out of touch with the world. I swallow my almost airborne mouthful and furrow my brow a bit. How did they know my name? I didn't think you could just get a name from an IP address. Damn, these programming nerds are getting really good at their jobs these days. I click refresh for the latest news articles on the site. Yeah, he's doing that on a porn site. When the page fully loaded, I was knocked back in my chair. Mouse flung from my hand and a single ice cube fell onto the floor and slid behind me. I can't speak. I was assaulted by an extremely loud, shrill dinging sound from the computer speakers, as if a deranged slot machine was trying to murder me with my winnings. I gather myself and reach to turn the speakers off. I don't ever remember turning them that up. Oh my god. Words. I don't remember turning them up that loud. I hardly even needed the speakers when I browsed the web. I scanned the page for what could have possibly made that audio attack. "James! MILFs in your area want to meet you. One MILF is just 9 miles away." That was the only ad on the page and the only possible source of annoyance. I thought it was weird that the same ad was showing, since sites like these usually keep a plethora of them on cycle. Look at that. I guess the MILF people paid extra to be more prominent. I shrugged it off and continued reading. The MILF people. I found an article on cyber attacks and hacking that have been happening lately. I thought that was amusing since I felt semi-invaded myself from the shrieking MILF banner. News seemed to be slowing down for the night, so I clicked on the title to read more. Half out of interest, half out of boredom. The first thing to load was my friends at MILF Incorporated. "James! MILFs in your area want to meet you. One MILF is just 7 miles away." Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Was this to be my fate for the remainder of the night? I was getting tired of MILF vision.
MILF vision.
Oh god, that's a hard sentence to say.
Jesus.
Where am I? Oh, so tired, in fact, that I was thinking about striking that category from my more adult-related brands. No MILF for him. Wait, 7 miles? Didn't that say 10 the last time? Or was it 9? I know it wasn't 7. So what am I now, in a MILF countdown? MILF live GPS updates? Got MILF? You're about to? Damn, these nerds are good. The article didn't load. The only thing on the page was the banner. It wasn't the first time this has happened. It's not like I have more advanced ISP or connection. What does that mean? ISP? Summit. So there's bound to be some hiccups. I move the arrow to the refresh icon once again and click. No article, same ad, updated distance. James, MILFs in your area want to meet you. One MILF is just 5 miles away. That is one fit MILF to be able to run 2 miles in 5 seconds. I'm almost tempted to meet this Olympian MILF. 50-year-old woman with way too much plastic surgery, caked on makeup, huge muscular legs shooting out of a short leopard print skirt. I chuckled, amused at my own jokes. The article must either be down, not updated, or something technical that my limited education is not privy to. Okay, no. I click on my saved bookmark to go back to the main page of the news site. James, MILFs in your area want to meet you. One MILF is just 4 miles away. That was the only thing on the page. I wondered if the news site was another victim of the recent hacking hijinks and was taken down. Oh well, I was pretty much done with that website anyway. I clicked on the bookmark to go to my personal email. James, MILFs in your area want to meet you. One MILF is just 3 miles away. This isn't funny anymore. No email, just MILF, and the bitch is getting closer. I was starting to get a bit freaked out. 2 separate sites taken down and replaced with a MILF ad. I closed the browser window and opened it again in hopes of washing away the MILF. James, MILFs in your area want to meet you. One MILF is just 2 miles away. It seems that you just can't wash MILF out. I know I didn't download anything, so this couldn't possibly be a virus. Was I being hacked? For what purpose? With all honesty, I'm not that interesting of a person to go through all this trouble for. I have no money in my bank account, so good luck with that, pirate arseholes. Want to steal my identity? Have at it. I barely want it myself. I clicked refresh. James, MILFs in your area want to meet you. One MILF is just 1 mile away. Didn't even bother updating miles to the singular form. With a shaky hand, I reached for my glass and chugged down that last of the watered down vodka. Gross. Vodka flavoured bottled water is not something that would sell well. I clicked the refresh button and wondered what the next update would say. Oh no. My heart sank into my arsehole and I felt like I was about to vomit up the entire contents of my stomach. James, a MILF is right outside your door. No, that couldn't be. That couldn't be possible. Even if they know where I live, they couldn't possibly travel that fast. Then my mind started to wander to dark places. What does MILF even stand for? Murdering, insane lunatic fucker? Mutant, inbred, lashing freak? Malicious, insidious, laughing phantom? No, wait, that's a P. Oh my god, why even quibble with myself over inane details? There's someone at my door. At least that's what I am told. By an ad. On the internet. The more I think about it, the more ridiculous it seems. It just cannot be true, it can't. Even if someone at my door, there's 3 locks in it that would keep them out. There was no way they could get in. I was safe. I clicked refresh. A sound grabbed my attention before I could look at the screen as it loaded. The half-melted ice cube that was behind me slid across the floor and hit my foot. I stared at it for what seemed like hours. I did not want to look at the screen for fear of it confirming my suspicions. If I don't look, it's not true. I'll just stay like this in this position for the remainder of the night. I'll wait it out. I'll wait for the sunrise to burn away all of the horrible things that come out at night. That's how it works, right? Couldn't even fool myself. There's no way that I could sit here with my heart beating as hard as it was. I'd die of some kind of heart failure or aneurysm. I knew that I would have to buck up and see this through. I slowly raised my head to face the computer screen. I swallowed hard so my suspicions were accurate. James, a MILF is right behind you. Terror gripped me like a pit bull with a raw steak, thrashing my insides around. Tiny beads of sweat formed on my brow. A singular tear leaked slowly down my cheek. My bottom lip was quivering as if it was 20 below in the room. I froze in my chair, unable to breathe, unable to blink, unable to move. When everything was absolutely still, I heard it. Breathing. Not my own, but right behind me. I dared not look around. I knew that if I looked at it, I'd die, either by its hands or my own fright. All moisture had left my mouth. I tried to swallow, but could only muster up the motions with a dry, sharp sensation like drinking sand. I had no idea what to do. Jump out of my chair in hopes of running away? No. It came here miles away in mere minutes. There was no escaping it. Fight back? With what? I scanned the desk but couldn't find anything worthy of a weapon strong enough. What will happen if I click the ad? Could that have been the answer this whole time? You had the power to go home all along, Dorothy. I gather up every bit of strength I could, slowly move the mouse in hopes of not disturbing the MILF, and hover the cursor on the ad. I clicked. Nothing. I clicked 3 times. Still nothing. The ad was just a static picture, not a link at all. I moved the mouse over the refresh icon. A ferocious battle between my curiosity and the sheer primal terror began. I could still hear it breathing. Should I refresh? What would happen? Would this be the very last thing that I ever do? It's already behind me. Is it waiting for the final clicker's confirmation to attack? I licked my dehydrated lips and closed my eyes. Curiosity had run. I clicked refresh.
Dun, dun, dun.
And that's the end. That was really hard to read.
That was longer than I expected, but...
What would you do if a MILF was coming for you?
So what actually happens to him?
It's a creepypasta, isn't it? It's
Oh,
just
okay.
the end.
Okay.
But I thought it were a mixture of funny and scary.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it is a bit scary thinking... Like, how many times do you see them adverts?
Never.
You hardly
Yeah,
ever-
same me. I've never...
I like it. It's follows sort of thing.
Yeah. Like, would you... If... I mean, it's never going to happen, but would you turn around? Or would you just stay there forever?
Probably would turn around.
You'd
But
have to
you'd
turn
get
around.
up and be like, ah! Well,
Yeah.
all of a sudden,
Yeah.
you know, like with you and your
My screen.
scream, yeah,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah. I mean,
To turn around to be nothing there. to be getting pranked by somebody.
it was funny, was that? But I liked that story. I thought it
Yeah.
had some good detail with the MILF vision. That really got me.
Milf vision.
But yeah, that's my 2 stories. I was going to have another one, but forgot. So,
Well, that's pretty much taken us up to an hour anyway. So
yeah, an hour of pure spooky goodness. Ooh. Alright then, guys. Right, that takes us to the end of this episode. It's been the second of a 2-parter. Spooky stories, spooky happenings. Very spooky.
Spooky.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so that's it. So what have we got for next week? Any ideas? What are we thinking?
Oh, we could give it as a surprise, or...
yeah,
Have you got
we'll have a little thing.
Well, yeah, we'll do it.
We've got plenty of ideas, but yeah, I think I've got a couple things we could maybe do.
You've got a notes page.
I've got a notes page longer than me.
Right, guys. Thanks for listening. Check the socials, 5-star and all that, and we'll see you next time.